Hi, I'm MJ Sims Maddox, author of the Priscilla series and a handbook for emerging and seasoned authors. This is the handbook that we're using for our discussions. In session one, we introduced you to the content of the handbook, provided an overview of the publishing industry, and discussed the need to establish a writing regimen, during which time I shared the 5 rules that I follow when I write. In session number two, we talked about creative writing techniques and plotting the storyline. In session three, we talked about the publishing essentials, everything from establishing your writing career as a business, establishing a budget, equipping yourself with the proper tools, and retaining a competent editor, on through everything from a headshot to choosing your distributor, what ISBN numbers are, etc. In this particular session, number 4, we're going to talk about conversions, how to convert your MS Word document, the manuscript, into a book format and eventually into digital and ebook. Of course, we can't do all the details, they're in the handbook, but we're going to walk you through what you can expect when you do purchase the book. And if you already have it, just follow along with me. One of the first things you need to do is save your original edited manuscript in a file separate from what we're about to try and do in converting it. So save your original edited manuscript in a separate file. Then you can make copies as we restart the conversion whenever you make mistakes or want to back up. Let's talk about some mechanics. Your original edited manuscript is most probably in 8.5 by 11-inch double-spaced format. Okay, that is the document that we're going to start the conversion process. One of the first things you need to do is to put the 8.5 by 11-inch Word document, save it to a different size. Save it to either 6 inches by 9 inches or 5 inches by 8 inches. And those are like the standards, the industry standards for doing books. And it's explained in the text, in the handbook. So after you produce the size or change the size of your document from 8.5 to 11 to either 6 by 9 or 5 by 8, we're ready to proceed. My handbook, for example, is in 6 inches by 9 inches format. One of the first things you need to do after you resize your manuscript is something called page layout and pagination. Page layout and pagination. We actually show you step by step, if you use MS Word, how to go in and page your manuscript, okay? We show you step by step how to do the margins, which are typically 0.5 or 1/2 inch margins, everything from the alignment, the right, the top, the bottom, etc. We also show you how to do page breaks between your chapters. Page breaks between your chapters. Now, the part that's probably the most tedious is pagination. So we take considerable time in the handbook to show you actually how to go into those different drop down boxes in Word to create the type of pagination you want. This handbook, for example, has pagination on even number pages to, I think that's the far left, depending on how you're holding your book, and odd number pages on the far right, depending on how you're holding the book. Some people put their page numbers at the top of the page, in the middle, and some people put them at the bottom. I prefer to put mine in the bottom. Again, it actually shows you in the handbook how to create pagination, okay? You also need to know how to do your headers and your footers. Again, that's explained in the book. It's explained in the book. Now that we've got the manuscript converted from 8.5 by 11 to 6 by 9, if that's what you prefer, the page layout and the pagination. Let's look at the content of your manuscript. The content. There is something called front matter. Front matter. If you look at any book, at the front you'll see what's called a flyleaf page, a title page, a copyright page, and other pages. That's front matter. And already you know what? That material should be single spaced. That material should be single spaced. The interior, or what we call copy, or the text of your manuscript, beginning with page 1 of chapter 1 and any page 1 of subsequent chapters, does not contain a page header or page number. And it starts about a half of the way down the page. The first page of the first chapter is typically put on the first odd number page that follows your front matter. Okay, I used to, being an old school person, I used to put all my new chapters on odd number pages. But in this day of conservation and eco-friendliness, you can start your subsequent chapters on an even number page. That way you don't have blank pages in your book. Okay. Again, we share how to do that in the handbook. Now that you've got the interior, your copy, your text are properly aligned, your back matter. The back matter, that's the material in the back of your book. This is where authors now put the bio about the author page. This is where you'll see appendices, bibliographies, glossaries, epilogues, references, etc. We've already explained pretty much the content, of the book. And when we reference size, and I said 6 by 9 inches or 5 by 8 inches, I should have said that is called trim size. Trim, T-R-I-M, trim size. So we've covered trim size, page layout, structure, and the interior of your book. The final part to the mechanics is the book cover. The book cover. This is where I like to make a comparison between the way chefs prepare cuisine in fine dining establishments. So too should an author design her book cover. Think presentation, 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 okay? This is also where the assistance of a good artist, unless you're an artist, comes in handy. Okay, back to when we were saying you need to establish your writing career as a business, start by budgeting. Well, you need a good artist to help you with any illustrations that you may have in the interior of your book, but especially for your book cover. You want an attractive book cover, a book cover that draws people to your book in a bookstore, that draws people to your book when they see it online, okay? Now, in terms of how this information will be used by your distributor, you can typically download what we call specs for how to do your book cover, how to do your interior. And when you download it, it looks something like this pink and blue page that's in the handbook. And I share that with you because the handbook literally takes you step by step through what I'm trying to explain to you verbally. Okay. Save your Microsoft Word formatted book. It is now in what we call book format. Once you put it in that 6 by 9 or that 5 by 8 inch format, you have put it into what we call book format. Save those two files, the interior and the cover, by their ISBN number. So you will have one file that's an ISBN number text document, and you will have another file, the ISBN number JPEG for the cover, okay? Now let's convert these files to digital. Again, I cannot go through all the details, the steps that are outlined in the handbook, but I can share, uh, give you sort of an overview of how it works. You will need some software that converts a Word document into digital format. You will need software that actually does that conversion process for you. I use Adobe Acrobat Distiller software. I use Adobe Acrobat. The actual software is called Adobe Acrobat Pro, and you have to save it in the distilled format. But again, I'm getting a tad ahead of myself. Take that book formatted PDF file that you have and save it by the ISBN number, interior PDF, save it by the ISBN number, cover, PDF, or JPEG. Okay. Proofread those documents now to make sure it contains the same information that was in the original MS Word manuscript, the 8.5 by 11 one. Take your time to proofread that because you're now about to release it into digital format, and if you mess it up, you have to go all the way back and start over again. The handbook shows you step by step what to do next. Once you save it in PDF in your Acrobat Adobe, you're going to have to export it. You're going to have to put it in PostScript. Then you're going to have to run the distiller function, which will let you know whether or not it meets the international standard for validating digital books. Okay, it will let you know once the distiller performs its role. It will let you know at the end it now meets international standards. Okay, international standards. So you save that, and if depending on what distributor you've chosen, and I use Ingram Spark to be precise, it allows you to upload that digitally converted document to its website. You will also upload your digitally converted book cover file to your distributor's website, and they will let you know if you need to make changes or if it's ready to be processed into a book. Okay, again, all the details are outlined in here for how to do that step by step. Now, once your distributor has your distilled book format, and it's now in digital form, by the way, once they have that, they will let you know if you need to make changes. Okay, they will send you an email with the digital book on it. You look at it. You make some determinations as to, oops, I made a mistake there. I need to do this. Fix them. Upload it again. Then when it looks exactly the way you want it to look, you ask for a hard copy proof of the book. And this is a hard copy. Okay, this is what we mean by hard copy proof of the book. They will send you a hard copy proof of the book. And that's when you take your time to look at it to make sure it contains all the information you wanted, from the front matter to the interior to the back matter, if you need to do any more editing, etc. If you approve it, you can approve it for printing, distribution, and sales anywhere in the world, or you can approve it only for printing from orders placed by you. Or you may disapprove of it and want to change something. Okay, but that is a quick process. It took me longer to tell you how to do it without even going through all the steps than it actually takes for the distributor to do the conversion process for you. Now, this part typically causes some authors anxiety. But don't forget the option where the distributor allows you to upload different components of your book. So you're not alone when you do this. I'm simply showing you how you can do it yourself. Okay? Or you can do it according to the way the distributor has it on their website. The only reason I don't like going the distributor's route for producing my book It's because it appears to be what I call a cookie cutter version. A cookie cutter version. If I'm going to go through all the hardship of producing this manuscript, of paying an artist to do my cover, etc., I want my book to look the way I want my book to look. But that's your choice, okay? That's your choice. And by the way, how did I learn how to do this? Before the pandemic, some time ago, I actually contacted a staffer at Adobe by telephone, and the young man walked me through the process in a matter of minutes. Of minutes. I also learned how to take my book from 8.5 by 11 uh, page format and to put it into the 6 by 9 book format from a workshop that was conducted by a member of the North Carolina Writers Network. So on the one hand, it may seem as though I'm talking in simple terms, but it's taken me years to get this to get to the stage that I am. But I share with you exactly how to do it. Okay, ebook conversion. Ebook conversion. If you've already done the digital conversion and your book has been distilled in Adobe Acrobat, you're 90% of the way there. You're 90% of the way there. And if your website is like Ingram that says, do you want to do print or print and e-book, and you clicked on an e-book, it's already in ebook form. If not, if you did not click on print and ebook, you just clicked on print, you just upload that digital file once again, and they will convert it into ebook for you and send it back to you within 24 hours, by the way. And then you have the same options of approving for distribution and sales, printing and sales globally, or printing and sales only to you, or you disapprove. But you will then they will email you the EPUB and the MOBI version of your ebook. How simple was that? The last thing I'll share with you is a word about audiobook conversion. Unlike print, digital, and ebooks, with audiobooks, you have to use an entirely different distributor. And I share with you some distributors in the handbook, as well as how you can set up your document to get it ready for audiobook conversion. The first step of which is, guess what? Ebook conversion. Okay? Now, how simple was that? The final part of the presentation will pick up in session number 6 that deals with promoting and selling your book and then creating your own roadmap. I do hope I've shared something that you can use to convert your own documents today, especially if you already have the handbook, and just follow along accordingly. Take care.